What's up, fish tank people? Dustin's Fish Tanks, Dustin's Dirty Tank, bringing it to you on a water flow, water temp, water change system Wednesday. How's everybody doing? I hope you're doing well. So in today's video, I'm gonna be showing you 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5 of some of the best water change systems that I've ever seen. Look, I get to go to a ridiculous amount of fish rooms. This past week I was in Denver. You're gonna see something you've never seen before. A guy has a remote control water change system, my man Jesse out in Denver. I've also got my man Dean out in Seattle, who was kind enough to show me around his system of how he's doing it. We've got full videos and tours of their fish rooms. But I wanna emphasize something. If you want a great fish room and you want a great fish tank, you need to have a great system around that, okay? You need to have it, make it easy on yourself to do the water changes. Yes, I cannot do easy water changes on the 220-gallon aquarium, or the other aquariums for that matter, out in my actual basement because this water sucks. I need to get a mixing valve. So today, I want to inspire you all so you can look at some of these people with incredible fish rooms and you can see how they have a system behind doing water changes easy. Enjoy. President of the Rocky Mountain Cichlid Association in his fish room. This is fun, man. That's a cool setup.
Mechanics of the room.
Mechanics of the room. All right, now this, folks, I've heard of this, so
cool.
Bring it, dude. Start at the very beginning, basic level, and I love this stuff. And
sounds good.
Go ahead.
Okay, so the room, so the whole house is on a boiler, and so I separated out a single zone for this room. So the room is heated by hot water heat on the perimeter of the room. So
the perimeter of the room is heated with a coil of water?
Exactly. And then, so up here I have the hot and cold coming into the water, into the room for the tanks. I have a thermostatic valve here.
What brand is that?
That is a Leonard.
Do you like it?
Yes.
Okay.
Perfect. It's a workhorse, commercial rated. This helps me with the temperature, so I can bring the temperature to exactly what I want. This is a regulator, pressure regulator, so that when I switch from copper to PVC, I have the right pressure. And then coming out of here, so this is when it converts all to PVC. This is my filtration. This is my purifier for water. It takes out all of the chlorine and chloramines. I replace that about every 6 months.
What's inside of this?
So it's a specific filter that takes out, it's a carbon block filter that removes chlorine and chloramines.
Anything else besides those? Just that, okay, cool.
On the house itself, I have a sediment filter, and there's another chlorine block, but this is my safeguard just for the fish room.
That's smart.
I have this plumbed for a second one if I ever want to filter out some more things, but so far,
look at that.
We're
planning
good.
ahead. I like that.
Yes,
Built
sir.
for room for another one, just in case.
Yeah.
Down to here.
Then this whole system is based on an exterior irrigation system. I have 12 zones in the whole room.
Wow, you gotta come to this new greenhouse, my friend. We have to talk.
Awesome. Love to see it.
We need to have some of this brain power involved. How great are these?
Oh man.
Those are awesome.
The only, besides sponge filters, this is the only filter.
Dude, those are beasts, man. All right.
Yeah.
Love the water change system, man.
Yeah.
So where does it drain out here? You were gonna show.
Yeah. So basically.
Oh, I like how it's black.
Yeah,
Nice.
Black, so it goes away. Up against the wall.
You bought the. Where'd you get the black PVC?
Home Depot.
Really?
Yeah,
wow.
They call it ABS.
Okay.
Yeah. Blends in nicely.
Yeah.
The entire perimeter of the room has this 1-inch ABS pipe.
Wow.
Then all of my tanks are drilled in the back, and they all drain into kind of vertical stacks. that run back into the ABS as well.
So that's the drain right there. I love this style. You just dock it over. Yeah. That's the best, man. I run those in my 40 breeders. I have 4 of them in a row, and I just walk by and I just flip them over, boom, 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 and you're at 90% or whatever you need to be. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, it took balls to like do that low the first time. I was like, man, do I really want to drill this tank this low? Like, what if this screws up?
I know.
But it's well worth doing.
Yeah.
Then you can just go right to your level.
Yeah.
So that's drilled, and that goes into black ABS back here. You've got your quick change up front here, and then the black runs along there as well. Nice, man. That's real clean. I like that. I like the look of that. I hadn't thought about getting black. Seems like a no-brainer.
Yep. And let's see, I can demo the water change system. So right here, Velcro to the wall, I have my remote.
Get out of here.
Which is great, so I can...
Oh, dude, you gotta come to, and you're doing the greenhouse.
Love it.
Hook it up, man. Yeah, you're gonna come on out there. All right, here's zone 1, zone 2.
Okay, so each one of my tanks is labeled a different number.
Okay.
So if we go to tank number 11 here, it's a 125 with a wild colony of Samazi frontosa. I'll go, just for grins, I'll do a 2-minute water change on...
You just push to 2?
Push to 2, then I go on to 11, and almost like magic.
Wow. What'd you do to fill it? Just pressed 11?
Yes.
That's fill number 11.
Yep.
Ha!
So that water will run...
And that's already going through a decored system.
Yep.
We're already at temp because you got your mixing valve.
Yep.
Wow. I like it. While you're sitting here hanging out and pushing 2 buttons.
Exactly.
That's pretty slick, man. So that's coming out at temp, I got it. Wow, nice. So can you say how far down you want the water change to go, or is it a preset?
So really I do it by time.
Okay.
If I want to do a major water change, I'll take the vertical pipes that are drilled into the back, and I'll push them like you were talking about.
Oh yeah, it's the best, man. Boom, down, put them down. And then, but what do you say you do it by time? What does that mean?
So now what's happening, without moving where the vertical stacks are, on the left, where I have them drilled, on the left side and the right side.
I gotcha.
All I have to do, this basically is circulating the water in a round kind of motion like this.
Okay. Okay, so I want to really clarify something on this that I think is pretty cool that actually wasn't totally apparent to me when I saw it in person. That is, that water comes in at a timed rate. So he has it timed, so a time, whatever, 3 minutes does X amount of water. And then what he's got is he's got the upper overflow. So what happens is, for a set amount of time, the water will run, but there's built-in overflows into each one of those tanks, so it will run and then overflow on that. So it's not like a complete drain down, but it's an overflow, so the water circulates in and then gets that extra water out, adding fresh water at the duration that he sets. Pretty slick.
This is the irrigation controller.
Okay.
You buy these at any irrigation store.
How much was that, you think?
It was probably 140 bucks.
Okay.
Yep. And it has capacity for 18 zones. I'm only running 12 right now, but in the future if I want to add. And it comes with this wireless remote.
Nice. I like it.
Yeah.
Please continue. So it comes with 18 settings. It's like 150 bucks.
Yep. You buy, coming back to these zone valves over here, you buy these so it comes 3 zones per setup. So you can see 1 zone, 2, 3. So I've gone 3, 6, 9, 12.
Wow. And then these are on timers.
And then these are on, so the controller itself, I can set them up for, just like you're doing on your sprinklers at home, you can set it up to do zone 1 every other day for 10 minutes if you want. Technically what I do is just use this control while I'm here, so I can see what's going on. Really, if I go away for 10 days, then I'll do remotely. I'll do water changes to all my tanks as well.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I like these set up in a zone system.
Yeah.
They sell them like this. That can do up to 18. Very cool.
I think probably the biggest challenge in the fish room is diagramming how all of your zones are going to get to the specific tanks that you're trying to get to. So let's say hypothetically I'm trying to get all the way over 2 walls away with this zone. I might be trying to cross all of these pipes in the wrong place, and then you're stuck.
Oh yeah.
So I spent a lot of time drawing this out.
Wow.
Really, which pipe was going to go
Takes
to
the
which tank.
first turn, takes
Yep.
that would be very complicated
Yep.
because when they go down here, it's not like it's a straight doom. It's down, then it's across,
Yep.
and back up,
Yep.
and you got to make sure you're not in front of somebody. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Now that's some Jenga, man. That's this is really impressive, man. All right, folks, now I'm hesitant to show you this guy's system. This is my man Dean out in Seattle. I'm showing you his system first before I show you his tanks. I know you all are dying to see his tanks, and we'll get you a video out on that. But I want you to see how this system is set up to run all these tanks first. A little bit of backwards, but I think you'll like how this is set up with dual mixing valves. So I hesitantly asked Dean if I could put this on camera because it's making me kind of like, oh, excited. So please continue to share how you do water changes, man. This is really awesome.
So both of these come from the water heater.
Got it.
It's hot and cold, hot and cold. They're 2 different systems. Going through this one first, this is just a mixer. So these are gate valves, not on-off. So they're gates, so they're easier to control.
Got it.
That controls the temperature. Tells me what temperature is right here. Comes through and it goes through a sediment filter. I can cut it off here. And then it goes through the green hose, which
Color coded.
I can take tank to tank.
Nice.
And it flows like a hose.
Let me ask you,
Full blast.
if you, and that's all right, so that's going through there. Now, if you cut that off because something happened, wife called,
Yep.
what happens if the pressure builds up in there?
I left it on the other night by accident. Nothing happens.
Nothing happens? It doesn't like back up? Okay. Just curious.
So do you have check valves all through that then, or
No,
you don't need that? Okay.
I don't. That water's not going to kill me. I
Yeah.
eat worse stuff in a restaurant. So the other side is more complicated. Again,
we go to chapter 2.
again, we got hot and cold. This is what do they call these? A temperature mixer.
Okay. I've never used one of these. I cut mine manually on my...
It's a low temperature mixer.
Right.
Most of these are designed
For showers.
for showers where it's higher temperature. This will go down to 60 degrees.
Folks, this is some next level stuff because I talked about ClickLinks around here about some inline water heater issues that I have because they run hotter. So please continue because that's a low, that's a
low
different,
temperature. Yeah.
good specification.
And it comes in, goes through the sediment filter, carbon filter, again through temperature,
Yeah.
pressure.
Wow.
This just tells me when to change these.
Okay.
I love that little
Only thing is
thermostat in
So
there.
that
That's
tells you the
slick.
resistance is built up in the carbon.
Yeah, so I know my water pressure is about 65 normally. If I was to turn this on and I'm just not flowing, it's about 70 right now. This one is just a bleed. It bleeds right into the bucket,
Nice.
and that lets me get it to temperature.
Ah,
That's so quick.
dude, that's slick.
And so
Get
then this
out.
pumps out, or I mean,
That's a whole nother story.
Nah,
We haven't got there.
we're not to the drain out yet.
So now we're at about 80. It'll go up to about 82, and let's just say we want to change rack 4.
Hold on, how did you set the temps? What's the temp set? Like you,
The temp is set right here.
okay, so you
By the valve.
manually turn that to a temp that
Yeah.
you want?
Colder, warmer. Now it's at 83, but it's flowing full blast. If it's flowing slower. So now we're filling these tanks over here.
Oh, sexy.
And you can see about the rate that's coming in right up there.
What now here? Oh man, that is some gangster stuff.
Wow, that's pretty quick.
Yeah,
Wow.
this is why I switched to the bigger
Output in your,
because
so
I wanted to be able to change it faster.
that's exactly the reason I went bigger.
Yeah. So
I always try to do double the output as the input.
yeah.
So you switch to 1 inch or 3/4, 3/8, 3/4, excuse me. Nice. Do you think you get enough when you run it like this? Well, I guess it doesn't really matter because you don't have the substrate in there. But do you think you get enough exchange of the water, or do you aim it down, or how do you?
Well, yeah.
You don't think it's just going out that way?
No, I think
Okay.
it's mixing. And the thing is, there are nights when I take my drain hose and I'll drain them all down about here.
Uh-huh.
So I get a positive water tank. In an hour, that thing will pump 10 gallons into each tank.
Into each tank.
Yes. Yeah, so all 6 of these are going right now.
So you just, oh, that's it. I got it.
So
That is so sick.
rack 1, rack 2, rack 3, rack 4.
Are they all
And that's
the same
rack
amount
4
of
that's on right
gallons?
now?
Rack 4 is on right now. Yeah.
Oh man, Eugenio, you watching this? I got a guy that's real techy. That's really, really, really cool.
If you want to just do one tank, I hook this baby up. Snaps on right here.
The single shot.
Oh, red.
And you can just
Oh
do
man,
one tank and it'll go even faster.
I hope everybody is soaking this in. I am at Mike Barber's house here at Rest-A-Zonia, as he calls it. He lives in Rest-A-Zonia, you get the thing. Folks, this fish room was especially fun for me to visit. This is Mike Barber's house. I had actually had this fish room system diagrammed on a napkin while we were on a boat in Peru together. So to actually see how he brings fish in from the Amazon. Dean brings them in from the Amazon as well, but I was on the boat with Mike. So this is extra special to me because I had heard about this prior to seeing it. Mike brings in all kinds of fish, quarantines, whatever. So this is how he does it, including rainwater. This is very cool. He's got RO water. He brings a lot of fish back from Peru, Puerto Maldonado, and the tours with Margarita Tours. So he does all RO water. And he has it actually coming in from, this comes rainwater, he was telling me, that he's going to have set up here. So it's got it all set up, RO, 355-gallon drums, just supply. So I want to show that the supplier, we've all got it. His is way more organized than mine. Then we're going to go in here, and there's the man himself. Mike, can you wave for us? Hello?
Hi, Dustin.
Hey! And these are all plumbed together on one system, and then the
This
filtration.
whole rack is drilled in the back.
Okay.
It's not that hard to drill 10s. They all come into a 100-gallon stock tank with a 32-gallon trash can that goes through foam, bio balls, and then lava rock.
Wow. What kind of pump are you using these days? Is that a sump?
That's a big pump from the best place if you're building a fish room.
It starts with a J, Gemco. You know, I had a screw up with my bags.
John
he's amazing, man. He resent me a big thing of bags. A filtration and maintenance video with the legendary Gary Lang and his 85 tanks he takes care of. Gary. And last but certainly not least, you know him, you love him, I love him, Mr. Gary Don't Carry Lang, and how he does his easy water changes in his system out in St. Louis. It's all about doing the work and making it easy to do the work, and you've got a great system here. You've got 85 tanks, so I'd love for you to just kind of take it away and how you make it easy on yourself to do this. You do a lot of water changes. Take it away, man. How do you do all your work?
As we've heard from all the people that you've gone to visit today, the most important thing everybody kept saying is water change, water change, water change. How do you do them quick? How do you do them easy? That's the important thing. Well, I mean, I start with the simple siphon hose. Well, this is a great way to get the nasty stuff either off your gravel or off your bare tank. That's a good thing, but what are you going to do? You're going to put it in a bucket, you're going to carry that bucket to the sink. Only crazy people do that. Gary don't carry, okay? That's a big deal. I'm going to say that a lot of times.
Gary don't carry.
Gary don't carry is when it comes to water. So what are you going to do with that? You can take something as simple as this guy right here. This is my gutter drain.
This is so cool.
So we've got a piece of gutter. We've got the holders that would normally go on the side of the house. you sort of make a keyhole out of them.
I'm going to show that.
So you see those keyholes, and it slips right on there. You silicone in these pieces of guttering, so that's nice.
Gutter end, okay.
Yeah, on each one, and then you put a bulkhead fitting on there. See that bulkhead fitting?
Yeah.
I've used the on this one I used a 1/2 inch. You get some nice braided hose because you don't want it to bend. Put an elbow in there, and boom, you got it.
You want the braided hose? Cause why? Because it's a little sturdier.
Way, yeah, it's sturdier and it doesn't bend. Because you get a kink, you know, once you get a kink, it
stops. Okay.
It stops up on you. So, and then I screw into all my racks. You can do this with wood racks or the metal racks. You put screws that are exactly the same distance apart, and this goes into this rack, goes into one above, and above.
Even low.
Yeah, even low, and fits just perfectly. You go in there, you take your siphon tube that we were talking about, siphon it out, put in there. Now, at the same time, a lot of times I don't siphon a whole lot out of here. I'll just get the bottom out of there, and then I'll do something different, because I don't want to be sitting there going like this, holding this, making sure the fish aren't going to go down the drain. That's too much effort. I got other things to do. I'm going to be cleaning those sponge filters. So you can do something easy like this, or you can do something a little bit more complicated. With something like this, you put on the different lengths of tube. This is a solid piece of tubing, and then you've got the bulkhead fitting. Again, this is the strainer or the bulkhead fitting. It goes around the end of this, and you can make them whatever length. If you've got a 10-gallon tank, you put it up to this one. If you got a 75, you put in a longer one. Just pop that thing in there. Start the siphon. This is always the thing.
It's got it. How good can you suck?
How long do you suck? Just the right amount, right? Boom.
Oh, look at that.
Water in your system. You got it, and boom, you got the water going. I was a little bit of, I didn't want to suck a bunch of film there, but
no, it was a good pull.
And then it'll go down halfway. You know, this one's a little bit longer than for this tank, but
and then
halfway, and then then the water's gone.
And the key is you can move the on, right? I mean, you set that.
I can go do something else, because I've got more important things to do than sit there and watch water go down the drain, right?
Well, and you told me the other day, you said that, you know, you have a fish room to breed and watch rainbows, not
and
clean.
Rainbows,
yeah, not
yes.
Clean and what do you say? Not clean and maintain them, right?
I want to do things. I want to sit there and watch this thing. Now that's one of the methods that I use. The other method that I use is also where the water goes. I've got the hose. The hose goes right into this. The one end goes right into the sink right here. It goes in the sink like this. And again, we use the variable adjustments on here. I've got an on-off valve. You pop it into this tank like this. This is for a 75-gallon tank. The shorter one is for all my 40 breeders. So it drains down halfway. Does fantastic. I got one here for the 10-gallon tank, which is a little bit shorter still. And then when you've got the tank for the fry tank, you use something like that with a sponge filter.
Oh, that's
that way
awesome,
you
man.
don't suck up your fry. But this is a fantastic way to get those tanks.
And a lot of tanks. I mean, you've got.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm seeing a lot of siphons.
But
You can get it going.
want to do things fast. Now again, I do have other tanks that are drilled like this. If you look at these guys here, all these 20 highs have they're drilled in the bottom. And you know, I'll take the siphon and get a little of the dirt off the bottom. That I have to do in a bucket. But then you come down here, grab this tap right here.
Yeah, that's a slick setup.
And then I'm cleaning the filter while the water's draining. Gary don't carry.
Gary don't carry. I love it.
What do I do with these tanks down here though? Because they're too low. They're too low for the siphon to work. You got to get rid of the water somehow. This is a cool little device I got from Gemco, and I also use this to clean my 220 because I don't. If I'm getting rid of 50% of the water, 110 gallons, I want to do it quick. I don't have time. That hose won't go out there. This puppy does. It's variable, so you can decide if I want 20% of the water, 10% of the water, 100% of the water, just depending on where that is.
And it's got a pump on it, so.
You've got a pump on there, and when it's the old Maxi Jet, he sells them with different ones. I put the biggest one I could get on there, so I pump out the water as fast as I can. You got a strainer on there so you don't suck up fish. Get it set up. You put, a lot of times I'll put a hook like this on the end of it so that it hooks right into the sink. put this in the tank, plug it in, and go do something
Go
else.
do something else.
You know, and then all of a sudden after a while you'll hear the pump go hum, hum, hum. But the Maxi Jets, they don't burn out. Now if you left them there for 4 days, you know, they might burn out. But for a half an hour or something, forget. And boy, that's a fast way to get rid of water. So that's how I get rid of water. How do I put water back? That's the other question. Now, I have 3 barrels on the other side of the room that I fill up, and they're interconnected. And
oh, I forgot about this piece.
It's an okay way to do it. What I'd probably rather do is have a pre-filter and 2 carbon blocks that way, because I have chloramines. I have to get rid of that chloramine.
Right.
Otherwise they kill my fish. But I've got this set up, and I've got a pond pump in the bottom of one of those pumps, and I've got a remote switch. You get these at Lowe's.
You get those at Lowe's?
Yeah, you get these at Lowe's or any of the big hardware stores. You click the button, boom, you got your water.
Oh man.
Now, the one thing is, I'm not a real bright guy sometimes. I will put one in one tank and walk away and go clean another filter and start working around, and then all of a sudden go, oh, isn't that a lovely waterfall? It's really great. My brain says this. I've got this lovely waterfall in my fish room, and I'm going, wait, I don't have a waterfall in my fish room, and then I'm cleaning water off the floor. So, you know, it's one of the advantages. You do have to pay attention for a little bit of time. So, but other than that, it still is a
The
time
remote
saver.
pump is pretty slick,
Yeah.
though. I mean, that's if you're scrambling down the steps, that's a good thing.
This is a much better way to do it. When I fill those barrels, which are on the other side, again, quick disconnects are your friend in the fish room. So when it's time to go fill those barrels, I unhook it from the pump in the other room so it pours straight into the pump. Put the right adapter on here. And a smarter thing than a 2-way adapter, there's some that they sell at Lowe's that have 4 of these. So you could permanently leave one setting on one. I got cheap and I just went with the 2 one, but I probably should go buy the 4 one. Put that puppy on.
Wow,
First,
quick
turn it
connect
off
too.
to begin with. Turn this one on.
Get your
Let's
temp.
pretend it's winter time. Get the hot water right, get this right, take the thermometer, get everything right. Once all the temperature's right, then open this one up and then start filling the barrel up in the other room. And I know that it takes 10 minutes for my barrels to fill up. So I set a timer, because again, if you don't watch it, you'll end up with a waterfall in the other room. So you don't want to do that either. And so if I was starting this from scratch, I would say go out and get a pre-filter and 2 carbon blocks.
And the carbon blocks do what? Explain what those are.
Carbon blocks are going to take out the chloramine out of the water for you, because they're going to take out the chloramine, and that way you can, again, you.
That's an inline thing?
It's on the wall, sort of like this RO unit is. It kind of looks the same way, but much bigger. So you've got a pre-filter and then 2 carbon blocks, and you replace. You know, you read the directions on the carbon block. They're like 20,000 gallons or something. So you figure out how many gallons you've gone through, and you replace the one that uses the most, that gets the chlorine first. And you take this one, move it back to that one, and then replace the new one.
Where do you pick those up? Gemco sell those, or?
These aren't carbon blocks.
Right, but the carbon blocks, if somebody wanted to get a carbon block.
You can pick those up at Lowe's, and Menards is where everybody's
really?
they've been picking them up. So Menards is the place. And one of these days I've got to do it and plumb the stuff in the other room, because that would be the smartest way to do it. But the cheap and easy way is you can fill up the barrels, add your prime to those barrels, stir it around with the pump, get all the, and it only takes 10 minutes to dechlor all that water, and then start pumping it into tanks. But do it fast, do it easy, because who wants to be changing water? I want to be enjoying it.
Enjoying it, man. And you do have an enjoyable freaking room.
Look at these babies, Look at those guys. Look at this undescribed fish down here, I'd rather be watching those guys than be changing water or carrying buckets of water. Yeah, I would be a muscle man if I had all that.
But Gary don't carry.
Gary don't carry that water.
That's awesome.
Okay.
Do me a favor, folks, drop me a comment on your water change system and how you make it easy on yourself. Which of these systems do you like the most and why? Give me some ideas on how I should filter this new greenhouse coming at some point. Everybody have a fabulous week. Subscribe, notifications button, and tank on. Later.